right. I'm in traffic, so to keep myself from reading these documents before I get behind the wheel, I'm just gonna video blog the turn of events that I just experienced. It's actually quite wonderful because you learn through experience, man. The best way of learning, I think. So I've been spending the last couple of days playing with the loan application that I got from my Prius, the car that I'm driving right now. And there's no law enforcement around me. I'm good. So, learning, reading on it, learning up on UCC, learning up on securitizations, learning up on the Financial Accounting Standards Bureau, generally accepting accounting principles, all of that stuff. And I figured I knew enough. And I did a bunch of research last night, a bunch of research. And I just drafted a document that had a whole bunch of questions on it. Like I didn't have to think about the questions. I got the questions straight off the document. And it's so funny. I got the video of me being at the bank, Fifth Third Bank. And, I'm like, yeah, I got a question about a loan. And like, well, we're going to have to get you a manager for that. I'm like, okay. Took about 10 minutes for the manager to come out. I go in there to see the manager. I'm like, yeah, I'm acting like I want to buy a car. Now, I will buy a car. And I'm like, well, here's the thing. I satisfied the loan with you guys already. I'm feeling like I did business with you guys. You cut me a deal. My credit is terrible. And he's like, yeah. So, And he brings up the old car. And I said, well, speaking of the old car, I have the old car loan right here. Do you mind if I ask you a couple of questions? And he's like, sure, yeah. And you can see that he's visibly nervous already, because how many times does someone come into the bank and ask to speak about a loan? You usually call the bank about the loan, right? But I figured I'm a kind of, like Glenn Fern says, I'm a kind of in-the-face kind of guy, in-your-face kind of guy. Because then you can see their reactions, When you see your reactions, you'd be like, wow, holy moly. Anyway, so I get into the office with the guy. And he's talking to me, I'm talking to him. I pull out the loan. I'm going after him about, initially, the down payment and how the down payment was used to lower the principal balance. And then back on the first page, for some reason, it's added back to the total sales price. And I'm like, what is that, 15 USC 1605? I believe it is, finance charge, is the sum of all charges. So I don't really need to put a down payment down. And it's interesting to hear their arguments on it. And I got a real good argument. By the way, I thought my mic was picking up the conversation because all my recording devices just went down. So I didn't get any of the conversations with the dealership. And it was so good. Oh my God. And all the good stuff, like technical difficulties every single time. But that's all right, because I walked out of there with all the loan documents, the closing documents, right? And it's so funny because I asked both the dealer and the bank for the closing documents. Dealer's like, oh, they're offshore somewhere in a box and we don't know how to get to it, blah, blah, blah. I heard all kind of excuses. But the bank was like, okay, sure, so we'll send that right on to you. I was like, great. I get the documents from the bank and it's just the retail installment agreement. That's it. So today I'm on the phone with the bank. And I'm getting a video log of this so I can always come back to get an account for it while it's fresh. I'm probably not going to post this. post this until, I'm going to make a little documentary of it, an underground documentary. But, damn, forgot where I left off. Anyway, I get on the bank, we first started talking about the down payment. We're talking about the down payment at first. And we're going back and forth about it, and then, she gave an interesting take on why it's being funneled back in through the total sales price. And I kept asking her, well, the total sales price, this is the face value of the note, isn't it? This is the face value of the note, the total sales price, right? And I'm going to find that out when I go back home, because these people were either saying they didn't know or just saying no and not giving any explanation. So once I go through this and I compare it to at least the Fifth Third Bank, right, I should be able to find some defects. And that's all it's about, is finding defects. That's it. That's all. Right, so me and the bank, we went through that. I have the bank, so I might as well not. Well, you don't have what I have with the guy, because that's what I started off with him with. And then after we went back and forth about the down pay, he says, he hits you with the, what do you want? What do you want? Well, I said, well, initially, I'm interested in the OID, because I believe there's a taxable event that I can file, that I need to file for, at least for 2023. Or I needed to file it every year of the term, so I might as well get a full list. And he's like, we don't have that here. I was like, do you have a manager? No, we don't have that here. I said, does anybody can get it? He's like, you could call somebody, they could probably get them for you. I said, well, I'm here now. Can we call him? And he goes, fuck, all right. And he calls customer service. Then he goes, I've got a meeting lunch meeting, and he gets up and he leaves immediately. I didn't see him for the rest of the time I was in there. Dude left me in his office. I was about to go sit in his chair while I was on the phone. And this is, to me, these people went running. They went running. So, I'm sitting there on the phone, and I have the phone conversation, so I'll skip past that. Let's see if the glasses got the interaction between the guy and the bank. But, alright, so I left there and I went straight to the dealership. I'm like, bump that. Let's see what's popping. Bump that, let's see what's popping. I get to the dealership, right? And I'm asking for the guy, because the last time I went to the dealership was last week. They all acted like they didn't know nothing. The guy told me that the documents are off-site in a box storage place somewhere. We got to go find it and look through a bunch of boxes. And I was like, really? Bull. I showed up there today. They didn't know I was coming. None of them knew I popped up on them. Right? And by the time I left there, all of a sudden now they got the documents. Because why? I asked them all the right questions. I can't even remember all the stuff, but so there was one guy initially, and I just cut to the chase with this guy. I said, well, I'm here because I paid off the loan, and I'm looking for a claim and recoupment, essentially. I'm looking to file an OID as the original issuer. And, we kept going back and forth, because I outlined to him that, well, we went to the signature page. I'm like, well, if we look at his signature page, there's not any space here to either qualify the endorsement, restrict the endorsement, or any of that. He goes, what do you mean? Wait. Well, you do know that, this is a blank endorsement. It just has my signature. It just has a signature. I might have said mine. And he goes, yeah, right. So my guess is you guys, because the first thing I pointed out is I don't see Fifth Third Bank anywhere on the contract. How do I know that you guys were holding the note and, was the payee on the note. How do I know that? There's nowhere on here. I don't see Fifth Third Bank anywhere on here. I said, well, my guess is, since there's no space for you to qualify or restrict this endorsement, make it payable to, without recourse, credit to, whatever you need to do, right? My guess is that this contract was launched to make space for the endorsement. Or it was written on the back. And he just sat back like this. Like, fuck, And, the first guy took it pretty well. And you can tell he's like one of the douchebag dealership guys. Bald head, white dude with exactly how I look, just a couple of shades lighter. I was about to ask him for a job. Like, hey, why don't y'all give me a job, man, just so I can get in there? I'm pretty sure you guys signed some sort of a non-disclosure. I'll sign it. I'll keep my mouth shut. Right? And then after that non-disclosure expires, I'm going nuts. But he starts saying, well, I don't know. When you get up against the wall, they just keep going, I don't know. And I said, well, who does know? I said, do you have a manager? He said, yes. I said, is he here? He said, yes. He was like, let me get this guy out from in front of me. And I said, hey man, look, I'm not trying to be difficult, but I have a right to this information. He said, yeah, sorry. Like, let me go get my manager. Right? I thought he was the manager. So he go gets his manager, and the manager comes in. So the manager comes in, and I'm like, look, I'm cutting to the chase. I'm looking for the original issuer discount. Right? And he's like, oh, well, see, we go back and forth because he's trying to act like I don't know like he doesn't know what I'm talking about. And I hit him with, generally accepted accounting principles. I hit him with the allonge. I hit him with who's the holder of the note? And I swear to God, I'm not supposed to swear to God. Please forgive me. I take that back. I promise you, guys, okay? This guy was visibly flustered. He was angry. I said to him at one point, I said, sir, are you in distress right now? Are you okay? Oh, no, I'm fine. Black dude now, this black dude. Oh, yeah, I'm fine, man. Yeah. And at one point in time, he tried to push me into belligerence. And I said, sir, I'm only here to get information. I'm entitled to that, aren't I? He goes, yeah. Yeah, I'm not raising my voice or anything. I am being firm, but I'm not raising my voice. But I feel like you, sir, you look like you are under duress right now. You look like you're under duress. He was visibly shaken and his voice was trembling. And that's how I initially started out on the phone at the bank. But by the time I got to the dealership, I was like, wow, I can see that these guys are full of SHIP. By the time I got to the dealership, I was like, well, I got all of them up against the wall. But the dealership ended up shanking me on the OID, and it's because they can't issue it. It's because I'm the OID. I'm the OI. This is what I'm coming to. This is the conclusion I'm coming to. Oh, fuck, I was supposed to get off there. Crikey. I thought I was going home, but I'm going to check my box. Forgot I was checking my box. Not distracted, guys. So, the biggest thing was, over the phone, one of the big things was, over the phone, I thought we were looking at the same document. Turns out she was looking at documents and I was looking at one document. They only sent me, although I requested, I might have said this already, although I requested the closing documents, everything that I signed at the closing of the deal to get the car. That's what I asked for. And they only sent me the retail installment agreement. So I figured that's all they had. So I went back to the dealer to ask them for the rest of the documents, figuring that that's who had it. Essentially, that's who I ended up getting it from, right? So right now I'm waiting for a full accounting. So they know nothing of the accounting ledger. And I know now to ask for the, God, she keeps saying it and I keep forgetting it. Indirect lending company. The indirect lending company, the no interest loan, single interest loan, she kept calling it. I'm gonna go home and look up all these terms because I'm about to hit them. I got to. This is why they're holding this information for me. It shows like clear evidence of to me, misrepresentation. They're not trying to ask the lady. I asked the lady on the phone. I said, is there an accounts receivables ledger? Because we only see the payable ledger. The debits and credits on the payable ledger. Right? That's their payable. Or is it my payable? It's our payable. It's the public side. They have a receivable side too. And that's where all the money comes that we don't see. Right? We don't see that side of the money. I am still not going to my box. I'm still not going to my box. Crikey. I just gotta take the long way. Taking the long way. I'm having fun just video blogging though. This is fun. Because I need to have an account of what happened or else I'll forget it. I'll forget it. Just think that it's like a video, okay? Okay. So, the guy ends up slipping up and telling me we don't have that information. He goes, the comptroller has that information. I said, oh, well, can I talk to the comptroller? He goes, well, I mean, I said, is the comptroller here? I believe he said yes, but he might have said no. He might have said, I don't know. I don't know is probably the answer that he gave. I don't know. Well, I mean, and I probably said, can we find out? I'd love to speak to him, right? Now, one might say I'm mixing public and private, right? But the only way I can get at him in the private is through correspondence. They don't seem to be answering my correspondence. I want all the original documents. These are the people I'm going to. I ended up getting the documents, right? I'm just asking them about the documents that they served me, right? He told me about the comptroller. See, the comptroller is on the private side. He told me about the comptroller. So now that he advised me of the comptroller, I inquired about the comptroller. Oh, can I speak to the comptroller? Oh, God, well, sir. So he said that he would go find the comptroller and see, because the original agreement, how he left was, well, I'm just here to get the 1099 OID, and if the comptroller's a person, can you just see if she'll get me a copy of the 1099 OID? He goes back there to get a copy of the 1099 OID from the comptroller. Comes back with all the loan documents. No 1099 OID. He's like, nope, we don't have it. He's telling us he don't have it because they are not they're not from what I gathered, they're not the original issuer. So they can't issue the OID. They probably already sold the loan. They don't hold the loan. That loan is not even in their possession anymore. They can't issue it. But there was one big part in the meeting. The guy kept saying, pointing at my signature on the loan. He goes, well, is this your signature? I said, no, that's not my signature. He tried to get me with it. Well, you signed the document, so you agreed to the terms, didn't you? I don't know where he was going with that. Right? Because if I could agree that that was my signature, then I agree that it wasn't allonged to, it wasn't altered, right? It wasn't restricted or qualified at a later date. So that's what he's trying to get me to attest to. Is that your signature? I said, sir, that's a copy of my signature. Now, I said, if you can get me the original application that I physically signed, I'd be like, yes, then that's my signature. He goes, well, no, that's not what I'm asking you. I said, but you signed this document. That's your signature, right? I said, sir, that's a copy of my signature. If you can get the original application with my wet ink signature, I can attest to the fact that that is my signature. But sir, that's a copy of my signature. Just like my license plate, it's not me on there, it's a picture of me. It's a rendering of me. It's a false copy of it. It's not the true copy. It's not the original. It's a facsimile. You understand? And he was like, all right, I get it. Yeah, well, he's like, well, that's what I was asking. I said, man, I said it to you 3 times. The same thing every time. That's a copy of mine. And you, right? Because I said it 3 times, he had to agree. Wow, I didn't even notice that at the time. He did it 3 times, and after the 3rd time, that was it. We were in agreement. And he asked me 3 times, and I answered him 3 times. I think that's a sign of incompetency if you give the same question 3 times, or the same answer to the same question 3 times, and they still don't understand. I would have to raise issues with competency there. Same thing in the course duty, right? I'm gonna deem you legally unfit to handle these loans. I need to speak to your manager. And it was around that time when he brought up the comptroller. It was around that time he brought up the comptroller, because this guy was visibly shaking, and his voice, he was like, I must be getting these people in trouble. I don't want to get them in trouble. Look, if they would have said, sir, just don't file it OID, just A it and B it, and then just be done. I think that would get them in less trouble. I don't know. Because that would be forgery. I'll get them on I'll have clear evidence of forgery. And I'm not posting this. I'll keep this to me. NSA, I won't post this. I'll keep this private. But I have every right to catalog my experiences and everything. I've done nothing wrong. As far as I'm concerned, Beaver Toyota and Fifth Third Bank are doing something wrong. And I have a duty to let the IRS know. I mean, if anybody disagrees, I'm all ears. I done turned on the air conditioning for the first time in I don't know how long. And it's already giving me sinus problems. That's why I don't turn this stuff on. It's like I feel like it's laced with poison. That was good though. I learned a lot today. Just the phone call alone. So I'm gonna go back home and call the bank back. Yeah, I'm gonna go home and call the bank back. And I'm gonna ask him about this single interest loan that they kept bringing up, and this third party. I got the white kidnapping van behind me. I got the white kidnapping van behind me. If they start acting wild, I'm about to go live. Got the white the kidnapper van behind. Let's see if they follow me. You know them kidnap vans where they just pull up, slide that door open, snatch you up, yank you up in there, close the door, and then ski. That's one of them kidnapping vans right there. I'm gonna let you pass me, bro. Go on and pass me now. Look, he's slowing down too. Go on and pass me. Kidnapping van. Kidnapping van. Yeah. Nah. Okay, that's just the Passat. It looked like one of those Astro vans. Not the Astro vans, but like a Sprinter, like one of them mini Sprinters. Man. I was asking him who was the holder of the note. If you can't issue it OID, then who's the current holder of the note? I asked him about double bookkeeping entries. No. And the girl on the phone, she just sounded defeated. Wow, I feel bad for these people. I feel bad for them. I feel bad that I have to do this. But somebody's got to do it. And plus, I have every right to do it. I have every right to do it. I had a memorandum of law. I was reading off codes. I was like, well, do you know 12 U.S.C. 412? She's like, what? 12 U.S.C. 412, man. Application of notes. Oh, that's what I said to the dude at the... I said that to the dude at the dealership. It was a dealership. I said 12 U.S.C. 12 U.S.C. 412 application for notes. Right? And I said, well, the purchase, he even said it to me. Well, he said, well, the purchase order, that's the application. That's the application. He told me that. And I said, right. And this, I put my hand on the retail installment agreement, and this is the security, right? And he goes, right. He admitted it. Oh man, I wish that motherfucker would have recorded, man. It just was blank. All this stuff they talk about, this little mic for the TikTok shop, it works sometime and don't. Maybe it's dead. Oh, it's dead. Son of a suckleberry. Oh. Well, I mean, here's the thing. I'm going to study up these documents. I'm going to study up on all of them, because everybody online is just talking about the retail installment agreement. They ain't talking about all these other documents that are in there. And there are a lot of documents. It's 31 pages. I'm going to have a field day when I get back home. I'm checking my rear view constantly. They're going to try to intercept me. They're going to try to intercept me before I get to the house. I'm at the post office now, y'all. Took the long way. Sometimes you got to do it the hard way. All right, well, I'm going to check on with y'all when I get back to the house.